Ball coach Kenneth Harris. His Stallions beat Princess Anne 64-46, and they'll take on Indian River, a 74-65 winner over First Colonial. We're now delighted to be joined by the head basketball coach of the Braves, Clyde Spellman, with us. Coach, congratulations on making it to the state tournament, number 3 seed. Braves sort of flew under the radar, and here you are going to states playing for a championship game today. How's it feel?
Oh, it feels good, man. Good morning, guys. Good morning.
What's up, Clyde? How you doing?
Good, Coach. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too. Possibility of next year you might see me on the sideline going against you somewhere. Then again, you may not. Who knows?
Hey, man, I definitely hope to see you on the sidelines, man. It's great coaching you. It's great seeing you, and it'll be good for you. It'll be good for the sport.
Well, I appreciate it, but I tell you what, it was a good year to take off because I wouldn't want to face you this year. You guys you started off like firecrackers all over the place, and then you had a bumpy little bit of time. But now again, you're in the state. You're going to be in the state tournament, depending on where you're going to play next. So, congrats! And this is your what? Fourth year? Third year?
Third year.
Okay.
Well, let's do this for folks that aren't familiar with Clyde Spellman. We've seen you from the younger days. We just had on Tim Sparks earlier, who's going for a state championship at Peninsula Catholic today. He talked about you and Coach Harris and him at Norfolk State days. Kind of take us through the Clyde Spellman background. I know you have Chesapeake ties to another school in the Southeastern District, and you also were an official before you got into coaching basketball. So take us through the Clyde Spellman mini biography, if you can, taking us up to right now at Indian River.
All right. Yeah, I've been around for a while. I played ball at Oscar Smith, football and basketball. Came up, then I wound up going to Norfolk State, playing outside linebacker there. That's where I met Tim Sparks and Kenneth Harris and a few others that you might know of, Don Trail Leonard at Churchland. So we got a good group of guys from Norfolk State that's doing good things, that's doing things with the youth. Also, I was raised under Indian River as my uncle Freddie Spellman was the coach for many years. So I've been around. I've had good, bad ties with Oscar Smith and Indian River. So I'm pretty much a fan of both at this point.
Yeah, I know you'd love to be in the same venue today to watch the Tigers, as well as you guys go for a region championship today. They're taking on Lansdowne, hosting them at Oscar Smith at 3 o'clock. Now, you guys are playing Green Run at 4 o'clock today at Kellum. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
At 4 o'clock after the girls' game with Princess Anne and Kellum over there at Kellum High in Virginia Beach in the region championships. Go out there, support the Braves, support the Stallions, support high school hoops if you're a big fan of it, and watch these two teams compete. It's not a winner-go-home game because both are going on to the States. But let's highlight some of your young men that have helped you get to this point. I know L.J. Luckett had 18 points. Chris Edwards with 17. Josh Young with 13. It doesn't feel like you have a hallmark go-to guy, a stud, but you have a lot of quality athletes that are starting to click at the right time.
Yes, we got a young group. We have a few transfers that came in. Unfortunately, Derek Barnes transferred in from Princess Anne. He tore his ACL. And Cash Perry from Oscar Smith transferred in, and he's the guard. But we really relying on our youth that I've been coaching for 3 years, and now they went through a lot of rough patches, a lot of hard summers, and they pretty much stuck together. And they wanted to stay with a coach and stay with a program and not transfer and leave us. So those guys are starting to see the benefit of all their hard work.
And as Ed can attest to from his days coaching at Nance River for about 20 years and winning all those games of his 500 that he's got in the towel in his background, the Southeastern is a meat grinder with Indian River, Oscar Smith, Kings Fork, Nansman. There's really no nights off in the SED.
Definitely not. Playing in the Southeastern District, it was the same way back in the days. The worst team might have been Hickory, but everybody else was, any night you would have a rough night. So, it's pretty much the same now. But I'm just glad to be have this opportunity to coach a group of young men. I'm blessed.
I want to jump in on that game, and I'll let Ed follow up here. You had a game I watched on NFHS about a week or two ago with Hickory that went to overtime on the road, and that's a team that I felt like that game was key to this little run you've had here, beating Kempsville, beating an upset-minded First Colonial team that knocked off Kellum. Without winning that game at OT, if you lose a game like that, team can kind of go sideways and start to question things. Even though Hickory's not viewed as a power in SED, how important was that game to pull it out the way you did?
I think that was a good game for us to win. The team that we have, like a young-minded team, we have a team of all guys that never had varsity experience. So every game is pretty much a big game without without stress. We can't take any nights off, but we're dealing with young people. They play up the they play down the competition, and if they have a team that they think is a powerhouse, they kind of shy away. So we've been in both situations, but everything builds character, and I think that's what this team is built on.
We're chatting with Clyde Spellman. He's the head basketball coach of the Indian River Braves, in action today at 4 o'clock over at Kellum High School against top-seeded Green Run for the Region 5A Championship at 7:57 Saturday Sports Talk here on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe, Ed.
Clyde, the thing I want to get into before we talk more specifically about this team, your background. Indian River is it the first high school job that you've had?
No, I've been coaching at Crestwood. I started football, and I did football for 12 years. Transition, I did basketball and football. So I did basketball at Crestwood for 5. I've been running my AAU organization, no hype organization, 5 6 years. So I had a lot of great athletes, 3 or 4 from Oscar Smith, Sincere Jones from Churchland, the guys that went to Josh Spellman that went to Hopewell, Cherry. I had a lot of kids that came to my program, so I've been at it for a while. Just been in the background, not really talking a lot, just putting in a lot of development, and also repping at the same time.
A lot of
Well,
kids going for reaching titles today.
yeah, and the reason I said that because Clyde is low key on the sideline. He's we just talked about Timmy Sparks being, you know, very diplomatic, easy to get along with. The kids seem to be play under Clyde. I always looked at Clyde. First of all, and the reason I'm trying to get to this is I remember you officiating some of my games. And then I
Sure.
realized when I went up against you, I said, wait a minute, this dude was reffing my games. Now I got to coach against him.
Please tell me you teed him up, Clyde. Please tell me you gave him at least one tee, because he
There was no
definitely
easy.
Nah,
deserved
he
it.
got
He
he got
definitely
pretty,
deserved it.
but he's an easy guy. He's the guy that knows the rules. So that's a benefit of coaching, knowing the rules. He knows where to push the limit. He knows what he can get away with. So kudos to coach.
See, this guy tries to get me thrown out of everything
Oh,
everywhere,
I'm
tries to
hoping
make
you
me
guys
up
tee
as a
him up.
bad dude,
Yeah.
that I hate officials and this and that. I try to tell people, this guy, I'm calm with the officials. Usually I'm
Yep.
asking them how their day is. Is everything going
Yep.
good with the wife, the
Always
girlfriend?
has a joke. Always has a joke.
Yeah,
Right.
always has a joke, no
Always has
doubt.
a joke.
Yes. Yeah, he
Yeah.
does.
Every game
But
has a joke.
and besides with Clyde, again, we just talked about his days as hitting people legally at Norfolk State as a linebacker. How am I going to argue with a referee that's waiting for me? Here, coach, take this ball so I can show you what I did at Norfolk State. So I didn't
No
want to do
way.
that. But Clyde, my question to you is this: as an official, and
Okay.
now you transform into a head high school coach, and of course
Yeah.
it's against a lot of guys that you coach against. How how did you take your officiating and use it to your advantage as a head coach at the high school level?
Good question.
Oh man, that's a great question. It's huge. I think every coach should go through a full training of officiating. It definitely makes you a better coach, and it adds to your game. It definitely you're able to teach your kids what to look for, what officials want, and what not to do. So at the same time, I think it's a must that every coach should add that to their game to make them a better coach.
Yeah, because that's different. You don't see too many guys that are officiating, and you did a lot of good big time games too. And then all of a sudden you transform into the coach on the sideline. And that's why I didn't like playing against him, because Clyde got all the 50-50 calls all the time. And I said to one referee one time, I won't mention his name, I said, hey man, why is he getting all the calls? Coach, I used to ref with him. I said, all right, he's
Yeah,
wrong.
please don't put that in
He's
the
wrong.
atmosphere. Don't
No.
put it in the atmosphere. No, these guys really respect me, and I respect them as well. So, it is kind of harder for those guys to see me on the sidelines and not be judgmental. But most of the guys and pretty much everybody on board 94 and the other boards that know me, they have a respect for the game. And
coaching kids.
it's a situation.
Sorry for the phone.
No, you're good. It's cutting in and out. What were you saying? Yeah, we got you now. Go ahead. Go ahead. We lost you for a second. Go ahead. Uh-oh. Having some volume technical issues with Coach Spellman here, so bear with us.
For some reason, I'm buzzing right now, fella.
Well, they're watching on the internet. That's why they're
back.
calling you. But go ahead. Continue with what your point was. We lost you for a second. Go ahead.
Yeah, the thing was is that the referees have so much respect for the game, and I wouldn't want it any other way because the kids are the main focus.
Absolutely. Before we let you run and get ready for this region championship game today against Green Run, we know your time is precious, so thank you for coming on here on game day. You highlighted a couple of kids you've got, a couple of new faces, the Luckett's, the Edwards that are essential in today's matchup. Tell me about what you think of Green Run. It's a tough task led by Cash Jackson and Trey Miller, a couple 1,000-point scores. And regardless of today, you've also got to be mindful of your next opponent, which is the do-or-die game, Woodside or Maury in the state quarter. So how much have you and your staff already tried to gather some film, go to the notebook and look at tendencies of those two teams, knowing that's the winner go home game coming up on Tuesday?
Yeah, been coaching against those guys for a while. Either AAU, Cash played for my AAU organization for quite a few years, so I know him very well. Great kid, Trey as well. So we got a double Trey, and then we got to try to deny Cash. So that's not an easy job, but those guys deserve everything that they get in. And Woodside and Maury, you know what you're getting from Darren and Wells. So we just got to play our A game, and I'm just glad to be in the state, playing as a coach, and had a chance to officiate as well in the state. So I'm pretty familiar with everything with the process.
And given that pride and tradition at Indian River High School, it goes back to the 1980s when a guy by the name of Alonzo Mourning used to dominate in the paint. Ed remembers him quite well from his days at Suffolk High and Norview.
Yeah, I never had to face him, but I saw Bill Lassiter had those teams, and boy, what a job! Bill did not mess around. He had those kids disciplined, but they could play. And Clyde, that kind of goes into my question. When you took over Indian River, they've had some lean years. It's the first time that we get to look at the regional championship and we see the name Indian River. And as Matt mentioned a few seconds ago, back in the day, it was automatic. You're going to see it. When you took over this job, and I kind of asked Timmy the same thing, what were some things that went through your mind that you said, okay, here's what I got to do to put my fingerprints on this program?
Honestly, great question again. I just wanted to make my mark and let the world know that I'm a great coach, and I want to make sure that I'm on the level with the great coaches, and I want my players to experience and be on that level. But learning through college ball and learning how to prepare and preparation, weight room, being on time, accountability, all of those things. I just wanted to bring that part that I had in me to add to those guys. But Indian River has been loaded with talent for years. All the coaches before me has done a great job. I appreciate the school for giving me the opportunity to coach there. So I'm just bringing and putting my nick on it, and when I put my nick on it, it's just it happens. I'm born a winner, so I just want to put that into the kids and let them know they believe in themselves.
Well, Braves certainly making some noise here as they've knocked off Kempsville in the regional quarterfinals and then one other home playoff game, beating First Colonial in the semis to earn themselves a ticket to the state tournament to take on Green Run today at 4 o'clock over at Kellam High in Virginia Beach in the region championship before Tuesday's state quarterfinal matchup against either Woodside or Maury. All the best to you, Coach. Thanks for coming on today. We'll talk to you soon, and take care. Have a good one.
I appreciate for having me, fellas.
Good luck to you, Clyde.
That is Clyde Spellman, our guest here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk, as we talk to you about the regional basketball playoffs here on Cova Sports TV. We'll come back with more. We'll go through the brackets, all the divisions. I know people are waiting for that. We've got a couple more guests joining us here on the